Alright, here's info on the candidates for this election, including the California Supreme Court nominees. While all the candidates like to promise the world, there's really only a limited amount that can be done in a term. So for the sake of simplicity and sincerity, I requested that each campaign submit its top 3 objectives should their candidate be elected or re-elected. There are a couple exceptions, which you'll notice, but overall I've worked to keep it simple, clean, direct, and decisive so that you can select the candidate whose top priorities best align with yours. Governor, Jerry Brown versus Neil Kashkari. Jerry Brown did not submit anything, but his website indicates that his top priorities would be jobs for California's future, education, and budget. Neil Kashkari's top priorities would be jobs, education, and canceling the high-speed train. Lieutenant Governor, Ron Nehring versus Gavin Newsom. Ron Nehring's top priorities would be education reform and school choice, energy costs, economy, lower taxes and lawsuit reform, and making taxes simpler, fairer, lower, and more competitive. Gavin Newsom did not submit anything, but his website indicates that his top priorities would be economy and jobs, a clean energy future, standing up for all Californians, and building stronger schools at all levels. Secretary of State, Alex Padilla versus Pete Peterson. Alex Padilla's top priorities would be expanding voter participation, ensuring every vote counts and is accounted for, increasing transparency through technology where appropriate, and making it easier to start a new business. Pete Peterson's top priorities are complete the federally mandated statewide voter database, because he says we're extremely behind in getting this done, and that's priority number 1. Improve the technology overall in the office, but specifically make online registration of a business available. Right now it's a paper system, and he says this needs to change ASAP. And fight to reduce the ridiculous $800 a year business franchise tax that small business owners are forced to pay. He says it's extremely high, and that needs to change. Controller, Ashley Swearingen versus Betty T. Yee. Ashley Swearingen's top priorities are ensuring tax dollars are spent efficiently and effectively, attracting new businesses and jobs, and reform the accounting mess in the Controller's office. Betty T. Yee's top priorities are comprehensive tax reform, preserving retirement security, and modeling responsible environmental stewardship. Treasurer, John Ching versus Greg Conlon. John Ching did not submit anything, but his website indicates that his top priorities would be being a tough independent watchdog for California taxpayers, demanding sound state budgetary policies, and keeping the state from going over the fiscal cliff. Greg Conlon's top priorities would be improving California's credit rating, tax policy, and unfunded pension obligations. Attorney General, Ronald Gold versus Kamala D. Harris. Ronald Gold did not submit anything, and his website does not indicate anything as to what his priorities would be should he be elected. Kamala D. Harris's top priorities would be fighting for the environment, fighting human trafficking, and fighting for equality. Insurance Commissioner, Ted Gaines versus Dave Jones. Ted Gaines' top priorities are to encourage competition and economic growth, reduce insurance fraud and abuse, and take politics out of the Department of Insurance. Dave Jones did not submit. His campaign said that if you're interested in learning about his policies, you can read his biography. Because the Board of Equalization elections are geographically specific, I'm not going to belabor this. Look at your election handbook and figure out who the candidates are for your area, and I'll simply announce each race as the slide comes up, and you can pause the video to read the top objectives of the contenders in your area. This should save everybody some time. Board of Equalization District 1, Chris Parker versus George Runner. District 2, Fiona Ma versus James E. Thies. District 3, Jerome E. Horton versus G. Rick Marshall. District 4, Diane L. Harkey versus Nader Shahatit. Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tom Torlakson versus Marshall Tuck. Tom Torlakson did not submit anything, and his website does not give any indication as to what his priorities would be should he be elected. Marshall Tuck did not submit anything either, but his website gives the indication that his priorities would be local decision-making, better parent engagement, great principals and effective teachers, robust college and career-ready curriculum, and 21st century technology. Supreme Court Justices. Here's how this works. The governor nominates a justice to the California Supreme Court, and we as the voters say, yes, we want them, or no, go home. How a judge will rule is never guaranteed, but here's information about each nominee that I was able to discover. Goodwin Liu favors the limiting of the reach of the court in issues such as geographical election boundaries and wage law. He supported the rights of conservative Christians to defend Proposition 8's ban on same-sex marriage because the state had refused to do so. He supported rulings in favor of affirmative action, same-sex marriage, charter schools and government-funded vouchers for private schools, capital punishment, and ending waterboarding. He has been described as socially liberal, very independent, thoughtful, and well-reasoned. Catherine Mickle Werdegar. She's been described as a liberal in general, but a conservative on criminal matters. She supported rulings that allow Medicare beneficiaries who are denied adequate care to sue HMOs in state court. She's ruled to expand the rights of disabled workers who are victims of discrimination, and also indicated employers who fail to accommodate a disability are not protected by the 1-year statute of limitations. She is claimed to be a strong advocate of judicial restraint, and she has supported affordable housing laws in San Francisco's residential hotel ordinance, gambling on Indian reservations, and the rights of murder victims to sue gun manufacturers. She is ruled to make it more difficult for families to withdraw life-sustaining treatment for those who are brain damaged but still conscious, and she has ruled that judges should be able to spare repeat offenders from long prison terms in the interest of justice. She has also ruled against landlords who attempt to prohibit unmarried couples from renting from them. Mariano Florentino Cuellar. This is a unique case because he has no previous judicial experience, so there's no information about his rulings. This will be the first time doing this sort of thing for him. He's a lawyer and a law professor at Stanford Law. He's an expert in administrative law, criminal law, and international law, and a former official in the Clinton and Obama administrations. That's it for the candidates and Supreme Court nominees. Vote well.